Welcome back, dear viewers, and we're joined over the phone by Mr. Mostafa Selima, lecturer in sustainable development. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, how do you see the significance of achieving sustainable development in various fields in light of the 76th session of the General Assembly?
Okay, great. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for having me on the
Our pleasure having you,
significant program. And actually, it's a very important for Egypt that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi will participate in the 76th round of the UN General Assembly. And for the importance of the sustainable development goals and the importance of achieving it in the different fields inside Egypt. Okay, so let me first clear or illustrate something, that Egypt's government commitment to ensure the quality of life for the Egyptian people. And so Egypt launched the first sustainable development strategy, Egypt Vision 2030, in 2016, believing that sustainable development is the guarantee for growth, development, and prosperity for the future generation. Actually, the Egyptian strategy is in the align with the 17 SDG, which the UN launched in 2015. And also in the align with the African agenda, as Egypt is an African country. So it's in the alignment with the African Agenda 2063, as acts as the governing framework for all the development programs and projects that will be implemented until 2013. In fact, the launch of the strategy was followed by the establishment of the National Committee for Monitoring and the implementation of the Sustainable Development Agenda or goals for Egypt. So it includes strategies for different fields in Egypt. So we have the National Project for Family Development, and also we have the National Strategy for Artificial Intelligence. We have the strategy for energy. We have the strategy for tourism, and also the Sustainable Development Agenda for Egypt has been updated for 2 times. The first one was in 2018 to ensuring the better and more alignment of the national goals. And the second one was in 2020 in order to get the strategy more resilient, let's say that, especially after the pandemic or the COVID-19.
Right.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so the updated version of the Egypt Vision 2030 actually unfolds in 4 guiding principles, putting the citizen at the core and the center of the developments, while guaranteeing equality and accessibility for all, coupled with an approach of resilience and adaptation, all within a mindset of sustainability. These principles are considered the overarching umbrella that guides the implementation of the 6 national strategic goals, which aim to improve Egyptians' quality of life and raise their living standards while achieving social justice and equality.
Yes. Sir, the UN General Assembly meetings tackled the repercussions of COVID-19. How do you assess Egypt's efforts in preserving its economic progress amid the current challenges of the coronavirus?
Okay, good. So, on the global level, the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 has been phenomenal for us, and its span of impact geographically and sectorally, and it was unprecedented. The pandemic served to remind us that the world is interconnected, so we're not alone, and has more commonalities than differences. In times of crisis, especially global ones, international cooperation is a necessity, not a luxury. So, overcoming this crisis was proven to be a function of the level of collaboration among all countries and with the international community. And actually, you find Egypt had collaborate with the different countries all over the world, with the States, with the United States, with China, Italy, and we have sent subsidies, and we have received also vaccination and so on. So the pandemic taught us in a practical manner that sustainable development should be the ultimate objective, and it's one of the dimensions at the expense of another could be use the people or like serve the people on the planet. So
Yes.
on the domestic level, COVID-19 has been like a game changer without a death or a doubt. While it's true that the pandemic has impeded Egypt's fast-track development path, it's also proven that Egypt is on the right track. National priorities as universal health insurance that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has launched, and actually we have like a good progress in the field of health. So we launched the national campaign for the vaccination. And actually, Egypt has already achieved a target for under 5 mortality rates, and flew 25 person per 1,000 person life birth. So we have a lot of improvements in terms of the health campaigns that Mr. or President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has launched.
Right. Well, sir, how do you evaluate Egypt's progress in using clean energy through its ongoing mega projects?
Okay, wonderful. So this is like a very great question, as Egypt has was suffering from difficulties and drawbacks in terms of electricity. And you remember in 2014, so we have a shortage of around 6,000 megawatts, and that put Egypt under pressure on the electricity companies and to conduct scheduled cutouts between different areas, and to be aware that the criticality of the situation. The government of Egypt stepped up to address this critical challenge. And in 2015, the total capacity of power stations in Egypt was around 23,000 megawatts, and since then, Egypt has more than doubled its capacity, and we have added around 28,000 megawatts. And today, Egypt has a surplus in energy, allowing it to be or to become a regional exporter of power with around 19,000 megawatts in daily reserves. And access to electricity already at near universal levels increased from 99% of the population in 2015 to cover around 99.7% in 2020. And actually, we have launched in 2015, we launched the Integrated Sustainable Energy Strategy, which aimed to increase the electrical capacity and production, as we illustrate. So we have built 3 stations in partnership with Siemens, providing a massive total capacity of 14,000 megawatts, which increased the total generated electricity from 185 billion kilowatts in 2015 to reach 198 billion kilowatts in 2020. And actually, we have tackled another aspect, which is increasing the resilience on renewable, or to rely more on the renewable resources. In addition to increasing the overall capacity of electricity generation, we also put priorities for the clean energy for Egypt, which has a significance or a potential significance. So we have added the solar energy station. So you remember, and actually I'm sure that you know, and the world know, the Bimban Solar Park, which was integrated in 2016, and it is one of the world's largest solar energy production projects. And in addition, we have relied on the wind energy, where Egypt is working on the construction of the largest wind power plant in the Middle East region. area in the Red Sea Governorate. And the last aspect is turning Egypt into a regional energy hub. So for renewable energy and for the electricity, the next step is looking outwards and commercially, and to capitalize on this realized potential through transforming Egypt to an energy hub. Now, with an energy surplus, the Ministry of Electricity initiated electrical interconnection projects to export electricity and assist in meeting neighbors or neighboring countries' electricity demands. So in 2020, the linkage line with Sudan project was initiated. And this comes in addition to the electrical interconnection project with the Saudi Arabia and Cyprus and Greece, which are already planned and set to start implementation in 2021, this year. So that will turn Egypt into a regional energy hub in the Middle East, along with the new natural gas discoveries in the Mediterranean.
Well, I would like to thank you very much, Mr. Mostafa Selima, lecturer in sustainable development. Many thanks for your insight. And dear viewers, now we go to a short break and we'll be right back to resume our special coverage of the 76th session of the General Assembly. Stay tuned.